In a quiet town outside Austin, there lived a man named Daniel Harper. Daniel was 40 years old. He had worked the same corporate job for nearly 15 years. Same desk, same parking spot, same 8 a.m. coffee from the same corner shop. He believed loyalty meant security. It was wrong. On a rainy Tuesday morning, Daniel was called into a glass-walled office. 10 minutes later, he walked out holding a thin envelope. Restructuring, they said. Nothing personal, they said. But to Daniel, it felt deeply personal. 40 years old. 2 kids, mortgage, responsibilities. He sat in his car in the parking lot and stared at the steering wheel. For the first time in his life, he didn't know who he was without his job. That afternoon, Daniel drove to a small animal shelter he used to donate 2 years ago. There, he met Max. Max was a mixed-breed dog with one torn ear and sad eyes. He had been abandoned after his owner lost interest. Too old, someone had written on his intake sheet. Daniel looked at Max and whispered, "Me too, buddy." He adopted him that same day. Every morning, after losing his job, Daniel would sit on the porch with Max. Daniel felt rejected. Max had been rejected. Daniel felt forgotten. Max had been left behind. But Max didn't complain. He didn't care about titles. He didn't care about resumes. He only cared that Daniel showed up. One day, Daniel sat scrolling job listings. Max nudged his hand away from the phone. Max wanted to play. Reluctantly, Daniel threw a stick. Max ran like he had won the lottery. And in that moment, Daniel realized something powerful. Max wasn't thinking about the past. He wasn't worried about tomorrow. He was fully alive in that moment. And Daniel hadn't felt alive in years. The idea, over the next few weeks, Daniel began taking Max on long walks through local parks. He noticed something. So many dog owners struggled with training. Pulling leashes, barking, anxiety. Daniel had always loved animals. As a teenager, he used to train his neighbor's dogs for fun. One evening, sitting at the kitchen table, he said to his wife, "What if I start a dog training business?" She paused. "We don't have much savings left, I know. But I believe in you," she said. Sometimes, all it takes is one person who believes. Starting from nothing. Daniel printed simple flyers. Positive dog training, patience, discipline, results. His first client paid him $40. $40. At 40 years old, starting from zero, he trained dogs in backyards, in small parks, under the hot Texas sun. Max became his demonstration partner. People loved watching the once abandoned dog follow commands with confidence and joy. "Where did you get him?" clients would ask. "From a shelter," Daniel would smile. "And he changed my life." The turning point. One day, A client recorded a short video of Daniel training her anxious golden retriever. She posted it online. The video went viral locally. Calls started coming in. Daniel reinvested every dollar into learning, online courses, animal behavior certifications, business skills. Within 2 years, he opened a small training facility. Within 5 years, he had expanded into group training programs, online courses, pet behavior workshops, a YouTube channel sharing free tips. What started with $40 turned into a company earning over $1 million annually. But the real success, Daniel wasn't chasing money anymore. He was building something meaningful. The lesson Max taught him. One evening, Daniel sat outside the training center watching dogs run freely. Max, now older and slower, lay beside him. Daniel realized something. Getting fired wasn't the end. It was the interruption he needed. He had been comfortable, safe, but stuck. Sometimes life removes what you rely on so you can discover what you're capable of. For anyone listening, if you are 35, 40, 45, and you feel behind, if you lost a job, a relationship, a sense of direction, remember this: you are not too old. You are not too late. You are not finished. Sometimes rejection is redirection. Sometimes losing security builds strength. And sometimes a sheltered dog can remind you that being too old is just a story people tell. Max was once unwanted. Daniel was once unemployed. Together, they built something bigger than either imagined. Final thought. Your setback may feel like failure, but it might be your beginning. And one day, you'll look back and say, getting fired at 40 was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it forced you to finally build the life you were meant to live.